So traders, having an extensive understanding of trend and key levels that the market may use to resist or support price action are absolutely necessary skills for any technical trader. These skills will act as the foundation for most profitable technical trading strategies, and for any trader, these skills will be a large contributing factor to success in a financial market. So if reading trend and understanding these key levels of structure is something you struggle with, and if you'd like to learn how we use these two factors to create very accurate trading opportunities, then make sure you're subscribed here to the trading channel, because we come out with videos teaching about these two topics each and every week. So in order to be alerted whenever those videos come out, you can click the subscribe button right below the video. Make sure to click the notification bell as well. In today's video, Forex weekly market predictions, we're going to be going over the top 5 major pairs, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about some of these accurate trading opportunities we pointed out in last week's video based on key levels of structure and trend. We do a video like this each and every Monday, so as I said, make sure you're subscribed. If you think this is going to be some valuable content for your trading, go ahead and click that like button for me. I'm going to let the intro and disclaimer roll, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Welcome back, traders. So before we get into the actual weekly market predictions and taking a look at these top 5 major pairs, discussing what we're looking for out of them, first I want to go over exactly what we look for when it comes to trend and identifying market structure, just in case there are some of you watching this that are new, or in case you've been watching these videos for a while, these weekly market prediction videos, and you really don't understand exactly what I'm looking for these potential trading zones. I think this will really help you, so quickly I will go over it. This is going to be very brief, and we do have more extensive training on structure and trend, of course, in the EAP Training Program, our paid program, but also free material if you decide to sign up for our email list that we send out to everyone. So if you want more in-depth training on structure, those are a couple of options for you. Otherwise, let's take a look at the chart. So for trend, it's very simple. We're looking for a series of higher highs and higher lows. This is all we're looking for, guys. If the market's making new highs, new higher lows, then that's considered an uptrend. If the market is doing the opposite of that, with lower highs and lower lows, then we're calling this a bearish trend. We're calling this a trend we want to hop on in that direction. So let's go down to the chart and quickly look at some examples of each of those. Here on the euro dollar, initially before we ran into this red line, this zone up here, we were in an uptrend. How do we know that? We're making new highs, new lows, new highs, higher lows, new high, and then all of a sudden from that new high we make an equal low, a lower high. First sign we could be in a bearish trend. Lower low, giving us bearish trend. Now we make an equal high, higher low, higher high, giving us back to a bullish trend. What does that mean? Well, that means now we're looking for bullish trades here on the euro dollar. And so now that we've went over a little bit about trend, what I'm going to do is quickly go over market structure and how we're identifying major levels of market structure. And again, guys, I realize this is extremely fast, but for more in-depth training, you can check out the 2 links in the description. So here we have a market, let's say, that looks like this. At this point, in order to identify key levels of market structure, all I'm going to do is take a look at 1, standalone levels. That means levels like this that are out here in the middle of nowhere by themselves, or levels of structure that have been touched multiple times by the market. This would be an example of that. We have the market respecting this level once, twice, and 3 times. So that was a brief description of what we're looking for when it comes to trend and structure identification. Now let's go ahead and get into exactly what we're expecting out of these top 5 major pairs throughout the rest of this week, and throughout the video we'll also be taking a look at last week's market predictions and how they played out as well. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started with this week's predictions on the euro dollar. And we're going to be making these predictions based on the 2 factors we just discussed: key market structure and trend. So what are we looking at when it comes to trend on the euro dollar? Well, we just discussed this. We were in a downtrend until the market pushed up, creating this equal high to our previous high, a higher low, and has now broken structure to the upside, putting us into a new trend. This is going to now be an uptrend, meaning we're looking for long opportunities on the euro dollar. Well, if we're looking for opportunities to go long here on the euro dollar, one of the main places I'm going to be paying attention to is right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and 5 if you count this wick here, that the market has touched this level around 1.1857 and respected that level, either using it as resistance or support by this market. What that's telling me is that this is a major level of structure that we could possibly see a reaction from. So combining the 2 things we just talked about, knowing that the euro dollar is now in an uptrend based on my analysis, and knowing that we're back down at a major level of structure, means this is an area I can look for a long opportunity. And this is what we do for each of these pairs every single Monday, guys. We go through the market, taking a look at what trend the market's in and what key levels of structure it's around, and discuss how we can actually take potential trades from these levels. So now that we've discussed trend, let's talk about the key levels. We've already talked about the 1.1857 level here for the euro dollar. This is the first area we're looking for a long opportunity. And if we pull back even more than that, let's say we go all the way down to the 1.1686 level, that's another level we can look for a long opportunity from. And that's something we'll be paying attention to throughout the rest of this week for the euro dollar. Now, as for shorting opportunities, we're looking for resistance if this market does get pushed up around the 1.2060 level. Reason for that, as we discussed, standalone level out here all by itself also has been touched multiple times by this market. We also have another level of resistance above that more than likely we will not touch this week, but in the future we'll also be paying attention to the 1.223 level as our next level of possible resistance here on the euro dollar. And that's what we're going to be expecting here out of the euro dollar in the future. Now, something really important for those of you who are new, or if you've been watching for a while and you haven't heard me explain this yet, these levels are not 100% accurate. So do not go out and just blindly start trading these levels. It's just really important for you to have a vast understanding of structure and trend in order to create your own profitable trading strategies. And that's why I create these videos, is to help you guys understand structure and trend more so that you can go out and create your own strategies in the future. So keep that in mind as we go throughout the rest of today's video. The next pair we're going to take a look at is going to be the dollar Swiss. So here on the dollar Swiss, our email analysis from last week worked out really nicely. Last week we talked about this market pushing up, getting close to our 0.9873 level. We thought this level would act as resistance and push the market all the way down to our 0.974 level, and that level could act as support and push the market back up. As you can see, that's exactly what this market did. And just so you don't have to take my word for it, I'm actually going to play a clip from last week's video showing you guys this analysis before any of this price action even happened. So let's take a look at that clip and I'll be right back. And let's take a look at what we're expecting next out of this market. Well, we have now broken below this previous level of support at the 0.9873 zone. Because of that, this level is now going to be acting as resistance, meaning that if the market pushes up from where it's at right now and we get to the 0.9873 level, we'll be looking for shorting opportunities and trend continuation from that area. We'll be looking for that area to push the market down to the 0.97402 zone. That's our next level of support, where we're thinking of taking that second position off, along with looking for some counter trend opportunities to the upside. Now if we push below that, so traders, again, here's our 0.9873 level. Right here is the place we were talking about resistance in last week's video, and the market possibly pushing down from this level. 0.9740 level we talked about as support, and getting a possible push up from. Now, the way we identified this accurate prediction was using the exact factors we talked about at the beginning of this video, using identifying trend and combining that with major market structure. So before, we had this uptrend in the dollar Swiss, making higher highs, higher lows, all the way up till we got pretty close to the 1.010 level out of the dollar Swiss, and then we pushed down, creating what could be another higher low, but proved to be the next level of support we would break and give us a hint that this could be a market going into a downtrend, because we knew that based on our trend analysis, we were looking at a major level of structure, using the same analysis we talked about in the beginning of the video, and waiting for the market to get to that level to place a trade. So that's how we identified this level here on the dollar Swiss, and also how we identified the support level. Looking into the future, what are we expecting next out of this dollar Swiss pair? Well, we're pushing back up towards our 0.9873 level. In this zones where we'll be looking for shorting opportunities out of this pair. If we break above it, the next place we'll look for shorting opportunities is 0.9946. This will be our next level to look for a possible move to the downside out of this pair. There's also a scenario where this market gets pushed down from the resistance level we're at right now. If so, we'll be looking at the 0.9740 level yet again for support, and below that we'll be looking at support around the 0.9633 level for the dollar Swiss. So that's our analysis and predictions on the dollar Swiss. We'll go ahead and move on to our next pair, the dollar yen. So last week we talked about this 113 even handle as being a place the dollar yen could find resistance, and as you can see, the market pushed right up into that level, and since then has found some resistance and pushed down. Now, the reason we were expecting this level to hold as resistance, and the reason we came up with this prediction, is because of the two factors we discussed at the beginning of this video: major levels of structure and understanding trend. As you can see, the dollar yen made an impulsive move down, breaking below structure. After that, pushed up to a level of structure that's been touched multiple times, as we identified earlier in the video, and since then has pushed down just as we expected from last week's video. So what I'm going to do is play you guys a clip from last week's video, and then we'll come back to discuss what we predict will come next for the dollar-yen pair. Let's take a look at that clip. Now on this pair, we also have a little level of resistance right here. That's another level we'll pay attention to for resistance around the 113 even handle. So there's a detailed breakdown. So our prediction last week was that this 113 level would hold, and that's what's happened so far. What are we expecting next now out of the dollar-yen? Well, of course, now that that level has held as resistance and pushed down a little, we're actually expecting this market to push all the way down to the 111.79 area. That'll be our first level of support that we're looking for the dollar-yen. If we push below that, we can look around the 110.47 area for our next level of support. With that being the case, we're going to go ahead and turn this line to blue instead of red to indicate support for the market. And the red lines indicate our next levels of resistance. So if we push down, let's say hit these first targets and then push back up, we can expect resistance around the 114.23 level, really in between that and the 114 even handle, anywhere for some type of shorting opportunity. If we push above that, around the 115 even handle will be another place we look for short trades here on the dollar-yen. And that's what we're expecting in the future here for this pair. Let's go ahead and move on to our next pair, which is going to be the Aussie dollar. So here on the Aussie dollar, not much has changed since last week. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this pair. Last week we discussed this as being a possible level where we're going to see some consolidation in between here because we have so many major levels of structure in this area, and that's exactly what's happened. What we're going to be looking for in the future is to see if this market can push above our major level of structure around the 0.7627 level. That being the case, we'll start looking for some long opportunities up to our next resistance level around 0.7735. So that's our two levels of resistance here for the Aussie dollar. And if we push down from this level, what we're looking for is to see if we can get some support off the 0.7534 zone. If not, if we push below that, we can look for some shorting opportunities down to 0.7459, and that's what we're going to be paying attention to here on the Aussie dollar in the future. Let's go ahead and move on to our last pair, which is going to be the pound dollar today. Last week on the pound dollar, we discussed this little yellow box, this area, as being a place we could look for long opportunities on this pair because we had already broken out of our period of consolidation right in here. Once we broke out of that period of consolidation, we talked about this as being an area we could see the market pull back into and then push back up. Well, if you look at this candle wick, it's kind of difficult to see here on the daily chart, but this candle wick pushed down right into that area and ended up pushing the market all the way up, giving us a pretty nice trade up to the 1.355 area right in here. So what I'm going to do is play you guys a clip from last week's video talking about this area being an interesting opportunity, and then we'll come back and discuss a little more about the analysis behind that actual trade and what we're expecting to see in the future out of the pound dollar. Here on the pound dollar, the market looking as though it could break out of this period of consolidation that we've been in over the past couple of months. And if we finally do break above that period of consolidation, what we can look for is a pullback into our yellow zone we pointed out last week between the 1.3305 area, which is our black line, and the 1.3246 area, which is our red line. If the market pulls back into that area, we can be looking for some type of long opportunity to continue the newfound trend, which should be up after breaking out of the resistance level of this period of consolidation. So the pound dollar working out quite nicely based on the analysis from last week as well. What we'll actually do is head down to a smaller time frame and make this easier to see. So let's go down to the 4-hour chart. As you can see on this chart, the market did in fact start breaking and closing above our previous resistance levels, which were right in here. And then we got this pullback into the exact zone we were talking about, a pretty big candle giving us some buying pressure, and since then the market pushed up. Now we've actually pulled back down into another level of support. So let's head back out to the daily chart and talk about what we're expecting next out of the pound dollar. So for this pair, since we broke above our 1.344 level, we're actually expecting to see that level act as possible support for this market and push us up to our next resistance level, which could be 1.3597. That's the next place we can look for some shorting counter trend opportunities on the pound dollar. Zoom the chart out, and we actually have another level of resistance that we have to find for the pound dollar. Looks like we've already got it pointed out. I'm just going to make it a little brighter so it's easier to see. The 1.3853 level will be our next level of resistance. I don't think we'll have to worry about that level within the next couple of weeks, but that is something to keep an eye out for. Now for support out of the pound dollar, if we break below our 1.34419 area that we're currently looking at as support and the market is currently hovering around, we're looking back at this yellow zone yet again for another possible entry to the upside around the 1.3246 level. Now if we get below that, 1.3056 will be the next level we look at for long opportunities here on the pound dollar. So that is a detailed breakdown of the pound dollar and of the top 5 major pairs in the Forex market. I also tried to add some value at the beginning of this video by teaching you guys exactly what we're looking for in these videos. If that was helpful, please leave me a comment and let me know. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. Also, if you're interested in learning a little more about this kind of analysis and you want to check out the current promotions we have on the EAP Training Program, which is a program that teaches more about the strategies, entry reasons, and techniques we use to trade the market profitably each week. So if that's something you're interested in, then there will be a link in the description labeled EAP Training Program. Again, make sure you subscribe to our email list if you want us to send you some more detailed structured training, teaching more about the 2 factors we talked about today, trend and major market structure. There's also a link in the description for that labeled email list. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great trading week. I wish you the best of luck on your future trades, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.